Hello, and welcome back to the World's RV Show, going on now at Motorhome Specialist, the #1 volume selling dealership in the world with one location. My name is Donnie O'Banion, and I'm here now with Art Rivard, who is the Regional Sales Manager of the Class A gas division of Thor Motor Coach. And Art's going to be showing us around one of the most popular Class A motorhomes in the industry, the Thor Motor Coach Hurricane. Appreciate you being here, Art.
Thank you, Donnie. The Hurricane for years has been one of the #1 sellers in the RV industry. The last few years we have taken it beyond that level to the next step with some unique floor plans, many new and exciting options on the coach. It's just taken the Hurricane to a whole new level in the RV industry.
This new floor plan, the 34F, is it's my first real look at it. It's a option-packed coach, that's for sure.
Yep. It's incredible, Donnie. We introduced the 34-foot, actually the 34E a while back. It's a bath and a half floor plan, midship TV.
Right.
A lot of people love the floor plan, especially the living area. Didn't necessarily need the half bath. So we took 3/4 of the motorhome from the bathroom forward, kept it the same, and made the bedroom area into a very unique floor plan for a Hurricane, which now offers a king-size bed. We've never had in a Hurricane. Option for a stack washer and dryer, full wall slide, outside kitchen. It's just an incredible. So the new 34E and 34F are just bombarding us in the industry. It's
well, I'm
incredible.
looking forward to seeing it. Now this one is a full body paint unit, and of course it's available now in the HD Max. Is there's one color correct for Hurricane and one for Windsport?
Exactly. The Hurricane in the HD Max, which we'll show maybe a little bit later, is kind of a silver gray color with the unique vinyl striping in 2 different packages. And then the Windsport comes in a tan color fiberglass with the vinyl striping. They look just like full body paint units at about 1/5 of the cost of a full body paint coach, like this one here is.
And the full body paint, of course, you're going to get the 4-color graphics, and then you'll have a gel coat type finish.
Exactly.
Over the stripes. But as you said, the HD Max looks like it's going to be a really popular option, and I certainly think it's going to do away with partial paint units in a matter of a year.
Yep, in the future.
I can't imagine many manufacturers clinging on to
right.
partial paint units.
And we've gotten away from the white motorhome with vinyl striping that everybody's been used to. I mean, even with the HD Max now, it looks like a full body paint unit that
it does.
People loved it.
Coaches look great.
We love it. It's things you can't see that set us apart from the industry. Things that we do differently at Thor on our motorhomes. And those are the things I like to talk about, whether it's here, whether it's at an RV show, whether it's helping one of our prospects out. Why buy this coach over the competition?
And that's why I wanted to do this at the World's RV Show, and to have you here to where it's not just a traditional salesman trying to pitch what he has to sell. For somebody to literally have an opportunity to speak with somebody like yourself, or to email us in questions like they can right now, and learn truly about Thor Motor Coach and about how the coach is built.
Right. And to me, that's what this is all about. That's what makes Thor who we are today. As far as I'm concerned, we build one of the best boxes in the industry. The box is where people live in. It's where they travel. It's where they spend their time. We build a tight, secure box all the way around with our vacuum bond construction, how we mount the walls and the floor together. I mean, we actually take the wall outside the floor and put it next to it. We have an 1.5-inch vacuum bond wall, an 1.5-inch steel welded floor. We set the wall outside the floor, and along the belt line, about every 6 to 8 inches, we actually have a 3-inch lag bolt that locks it into place, which keeps that thing rigid and tight. So when you're traveling, you don't get the fluctuation you get when it's mounted on top of the floor. That is a big difference. That's 3/4 of the box, and then we cap that off with our vacuum bond roof structure, which we'll talk a little bit later. But one big selling feature to the Hurricane Windsport line both is the profile of the coach itself. First of all, how we mount the house to the chassis. We don't mount right to the frame rails of the Ford chassis like a lot of manufacturers. As you're traveling and driving, the road noise and vibration that come up into your house is transferred up through the frame rails of the Ford chassis. We actually go to MORride. They actually put on 1.5-inch risers along the frame rails of the Ford chassis. Then we put a layer of neoprene on top of that, which is a noise and vibration dampener. So then we set the house on there. You're actually standing and riding and driving 1.5 inches above those frame rails. It's so insistent to your salespeople when I talk to them. You've got to ride and drive these motorhomes. We have one of the quietest, vibration-free motorhomes in the industry because of how we mount the house to the chassis itself.
And the neoprene isolators, I know that's in the Challenger Daybreak. Is that
Yes,
throughout the product
we
line?
use that through the entire line from our smallest 21, 22-foot Class C all the way up to our 37-foot Challengers. We use neoprene all the way through that process.
And the neoprene, that's what they make like divers' wetsuits
Exactly.
stuff out of, correct?
You know, the biggest difference here is, you know, we use a smaller frame rail as far as the 7-inch trusses that go across that we set the house on. It gives us a lot of basement storage. We're going to go through. It's what I call a semi-basement. They're not just individual compartments. There are some pass-throughs. The big selling feature by using just a 7-inch is that the overall height of the coach is only 11 feet 11 inches to the tallest peak to the top of the air conditioner. A lot of our RVers still like to store their motorhomes in pole barns, storage facilities, garages that have 12-foot doors. The Hurricane Windsport line is a few of the Class A's in the industry with this much abundant storage that will still fit underneath that 12-foot door.
You're right.
That's a big, big selling factor to a lot of our customers. As far as the compartments themselves, there's numerous compartments along each side of the coach. All of our compartments are roto-cast. They're all injection molded. You can wash them out with hose, water in here. As you see here, there is pass-through storage all the way through to the other side for longer items, ladders, skis, things that you can't get in most of your semi-basement or non-basement coaches. The injection molded compartments, I mean, we got away from the wood covered with carpet, away from the metal compartments that are used in a lot of motorhomes that rattle, they rust, the wood disintegrates in them after a while. So rotocast to us is the only way to go in your exterior compartments.
It's got to be lighter weight too.
Definitely.
Right?
And they're a lot lighter weight, and they are also bolted on the top side to that steel floor. They're not just put into the wood floor itself, they're actually into the steel.
So now when you start to add things like we're going to look at next, all these extra features you normally wouldn't have found on coaches in previous years, you're just not overweighting the coaches.
Exactly. That's one thing that we strive on. We know people are going to carry things with them. A lot of people don't look at carrying capacities when they're out shopping for RVs. Thor has some of the highest carrying capacities in the industry. We know people are going to put 1,000, 2,000, sometimes 3,000 pounds in these motorhomes. Things that they're probably going to carry around for a year and never use. But they carry them anyway.
Right.
We want to give them availability. We do not want them maxing out the chassis, which you have to do in a lot of coaches, to carry the things that they want to carry.
And of course, when you started the build on this unit too, you started off the 22,000
Exactly.
pound chassis in lieu of the normal 19.5.
Right. So you've got great capacity right to start with. Of course, we have, as standard equipment, we have the full-length patio awning, which is power awning. Takes about 10 seconds inside the doorway to put that awning in and out. It's a great living, entertainment area outside. You've got your outside television here. This unique model, which we're now building, is just incredible. We actually picked this up from our big fifth wheel lines. We are one of the biggest fifth wheel manufacturers in the industry also, and one of the best sellers in our bigger fifth wheels was outside kitchens. No motorhomes offered that. So we've now come out with that. You've got a refrigerator for your ice goods, for your drinks, sink, plenty of storage out here with drawers. It comes with a barbecue grill, a quick connect adapter down below, so you don't have to carry an additional LP tank with you. You just hook this up and it hooks right into your main LP tank that's frame mounted in the coach.
Some other manufacturers, they'll have grills that slide out, but they basically stay attached to the coach.
Right.
That's where you can smoke the paint, especially on something, a high-end coach like this, got the full body paint. You can spider web, get the side of the fiberglass hot and crack the paint or the clear coat. So, now you've got plenty of extension there to get it far enough away from the coach you don't do any damage to it.
When we first started experimenting with it, we actually had the same type of an option where it actually swung out. The fear of us is it's hot. And if people aren't thinking, what sometimes does happen, and you swing it back in, you close the compartment, I mean, we definitely are always thinking about the consumer. So this was just a natural way to go. It's a quick hook up here, and it just makes it very easy and simple for them.
And of course, the huge door that you've got here, I mean, this works as like almost like a second canopy.
Exactly.
I mean, you've basically
Yep.
got built-in shade. It's like
Yeah.
an extended awning.
You can do whatever you want in here. I'm 6'1". I mean, it's rather than pull that awning all the way down, we could devise it so that the door itself stays up on the struts, and virtually this whole side of the coach is covered. If it happens to be raining out here, you don't have to worry about it, whether you're under the awning or underneath the door itself. Every floor plan that we have in the Hurricane, we also offer in the Windsport line.
So essentially, the difference between the two products is just going to be the interior fabrics, exterior paint colors, and again, the HD Max colors that we'll show
right.
later on another unit. But you'll have
Exactly.
two choices, and it's just dependent upon the Hurricane or the Windsport, which one you get.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Front and back caps, are standard on all of our motorhomes. LED lighting, we've separated them out a little wider, a little higher now, so in case you have a tow vehicle. Of course, you got your roof rack or your ladder on here. Very easy access to the roof. That's one thing I like to talk about the Hurricane Windsport. We do have what we call a true walk-on roof. A lot of manufacturers build a walk-on roof, but if you look in their paperwork on that, it'll say, when you get up there to check the silicone and that, try to stay along the sides. There's a little more support. The Hurricane Windsport, we have a 16-inch on-center rafters from front to back. It is a true walk-on roof. You can go up there, you can take your coolers up there, take your friends. If people are NASCAR fanatics, I know down here
Right.
in Texas, football's a big thing. If the mom and dad and the grandparents are going to the football games, they can get up on top and view the coach. That's one thing I love about these motorhomes. I mean, they have a true walk-on roof, which is a big factor. Of course, we have the backup camera. Nice thing about ours, and I always point this out, especially to the wife, our cameras are one-way voice monitored up to the dashboard. So if you're backing into a real tight spot, even though you can see it, the guys still get a little nervous. They want mom to come back here and help them in. Well, no
Right.
more hand signals, no more walkie-talkies. As we're talking here, you can actually hear it through the speaker system on the inside. 5,000-pound receiver hitches are standard on all of our coaches. They're all 7-way wired into the back end here with Bargman plugs.
And this is exhaust for the 5500 Onan generator?
Yes, sir. That's exactly what it is. We upgrade our generators. It comes standard in most cases in the Hurricane Windsport with a 4 kW. That's one thing I like about what you do is we upgrade them all to a 5500, a 5.5 Onan. That
Right.
gives you 50 amp service instead of 30. It gives you wiring in the bedroom for a second air conditioner if it does not have it. And it gives you a gas electric water heater. Which
Absolutely.
instead
The
of just
5500
gas.
generator doesn't have to work as hard. It's a
Right.
quieter gen.
Exactly.
And I love how y'all actually ran the exhaust out on this model out the back. Keep the fumes from either side of the coach.
Right. That's one thing you'll find again. We're consumer orientated. We think about things. We don't exhaust things over the generator to the patio side like you'll find in a lot of the competition.
You're right.
And these are things that a lot of consumers don't think about. They don't look for. They look at how pretty the coach is, all the things on the inside, how glamorous and the
And it's
decorations.
easy to get caught up in that.
Right.
You know?
And again, I'm not into that. I'm into the things that make sense, the things that are going to make them happy when they're out there traveling and using the RV. As you can see along here, this is, again, the new 34F. It's a full wall slide. I mean, it is a massive slide out system.
It really is.
And if it's one thing about Thor Industries, Thor Motor Coach, it's the support and things that we put in the sidewalls. I mean, we experiment, we do things, we test them for months and months and months at a time to make sure they're going to operate properly. You can't just cut holes in walls and hope everything goes good. That's one, our backup, our service. That's why we are in the position that we are today. Along that same thing, if you look underneath, again, you have numerous storage compartments. Again, a couple of them go all the way through to the other side.
Still has the outside shower. Your city water connection's really in a convenient place on this one.
Yep, exactly. Your water heater is over here away from the patio side of the coach.
And a massive, not just a huge slide out room, but slide out awning topper as well.
And that's standard on every one of our coaches. If there's a slide room on the motorhome, there's a slide topper that is automatically put on that coach. It's the same thing. Fuel fill is easily located back here, so when you pull up to your station, you can see exactly where you're at. We put an 80-gallon fuel tank on all of our Class A motorhomes. We tap the generator into that main tank. Again, just thinking ahead a little bit, one thing we do is we tap in about 1/8 of a way from the bottom on the side of the tank. So if you're out at the lake, you're out enjoying yourself boondocking, when that generator runs out of fuel and stops, you've got about 8 or 10 gallons still in that tank.
Right.
Be amazing. A lot of people tap in from the bottom, and you can literally sit and run yourself completely out of fuel and then have no way to get anywhere from that point on. So,
look forward to seeing what's on the inside. I know you talked a little bit about it outside with some of the new features.
just a couple things around the front here I'd like to point out before we go inside.
Sure.
First of all, we showed you the backup camera with the voice activation. We have side vision cameras on it now. They're mounted in the mirrors, into the power heated mirrors. And we'll take a look at the monitor on the inside when we go in. There's a couple things about those cameras I like to point out to the woman, because it's a very good safety feature.
And all new front and rear caps.
Exactly.
These are essentially a 13.5 model.
Yes, sir.
Hurricane and Wind Sports that we'll be showing today.
Right. Couple things up in the front here. First of all, we use a steel firewall on our gas Class A's. You'd be surprised, Donnie, how many motorhomes out here in this industry, Class A's, do not utilize a steel firewall. They use a wood firewall painted black. So that's a very important fact for your customers to know that. And again, I get the salespeople, take that down, have them reach back in there, feel that steel firewall. That's a safety feature. Also on the Hurricane Wind Sport, we cut our fiberglass down about 8 inches lower than what most Class A's do. Most of your Class A's will have the fiberglass about at the line up here with the wipers. Maybe not seem like a big factor, but when you're in the pilot and co-pilot seat, you can see about 8 to 10 feet closer to the front of your motorhome than what you can in a lot of the competition. So again, that's a very important safety feature. Of course, we've added the new window a year or so ago. A lot of folks love it as the doggy pet window or whatever to look out.
Right.
It is definitely useful for that, but the main thing is for the driver. When he's sitting in there, he can make a right-hand turn, he can look out, see the curb. If you happen to be stopped out at a red light, somebody pulls up on a motorcycle, a couple little kids on bicycles, you can actually see them now and know where you're going before you make that right-hand turn.
No, it makes a lot of sense.
Big selling feature. And as we go inside, just one last thing is, be surprised how many manufacturers actually mount their house batteries underneath the steps of the motorhome. We always have ours mounted in an exterior compartment, so they're very easy to get at. First of all, underneath the step, batteries tend to leak fumes. It's inside the house. God forbid the battery should explode. It's inside the house. Plus, when you put the batteries underneath one of these steps, that step is usually 1.5 inches to 2 inches taller than the rest of them. And that's a definite tripping hazard when you're walking in and out carrying groceries, carrying your baby, whatever. The thing about the Hurricane Wind Sport, from the ground to the floor of the coach, every step is exactly the same, including the electric step. So it just makes it a lot easier going in and out. Again, this is our brand new floor plan, the new 34F. As you can see, it has a huge horseshoe-shaped dinette, a huge dining table, which will accommodate everybody that's sitting around it. You've got 4 seat belts in the dinette area, 3 seat belts in the sofa area. There's plenty of seating all the way around.
I like the integrated cup holders.
Exactly.
For when you're actually traveling. Kids don't have to put the Cokes on the floor quite as often. And this makes it to a sleeper too, right?
Yes, sir. Very easily. This table comes off. It slides into a platform here. And then there's a cushion supplied in one of the back sections back there that just slides in. So you've got abundant sleeping there. The sofa itself is an airbed mattress. Quick inflate, quick deflate. And then, of course, as we talked about, you got the king-size bed in the back. The nice thing I like about the Class A's, you can turn the front seats around. They're actually part of your living area. You can turn them around. The midship television has a bracket on it where it swings out so that, you can seat 10 or 12 people in here pretty comfortably.
Does the sofa right here, did you say that this has seat belts as well?
There's 3 seat belts in there, 1 on either side here, and then 2 on the back side.
That's always a big deal to me when we're talking about floor plans, because the kids,
Exactly.
From the bunk models, different things like that. There's very seldom can you ever have a floor plan where the kids can be entertained going down the road and be buckled up.
Exactly, while they're traveling.
Usually your TVs are always covered up by the slide-out room. or they're just not accessible.
Right,
You know,
and,
but in this floor plan, I mean, they can sit right here when you're going down the road. They can eat, they can color, they can
Exactly.
play their games. They can sit right here, watch a movie.
And again, that's thinking ahead. I mean, we'll take a look at that a little bit later when we look at the wind sport, but our 32A, you're right. When the slide out comes in, it covers up the television. Well,
Right.
we now, we've installed a bracket, so now the TV slides. So that's a big feature that, again, people don't think about. They walk into a nice motorhome in an RV lot, everything looks great. They make a
Right.
decision, they
Right.
buy it, then they pick it up, and the first time they use it, that slide out comes in and covers up that television. Never was a thought before, and
Right.
wasn't brought up. So I mean, we have to think ahead a little bit on things like that.
And that's been the industry norm for a long time. We're
Exactly.
starting to see more and more of these floor plans utilized like this because it changes the whole experience of traveling.
Right. It
The
keeps,
kids are happy.
Keeps them busy.
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't realize we're getting almost completely away from the front televisions mounted in that area, because people don't realize when you turn that ignition key on, that key shuts off, or I mean the TV shuts off. So I mean that
Right.
if you've got children with you that you want to entertain when you're traveling.
And you
Big
said that
ship
this TV is
television.
actually on a swivel?
Yes, sir. So if you're sitting up in the front area, you just pull this little lever in the back here, and this pulls out. You can turn it to different options, different areas, depending on where you're
Oh,
at,
that's great.
who's going to be viewing it. Of course, you see, all high-def televisions. Jensen, which has been picked as one of the #1 TVs for marine and RV use. It has sealed circuits. It's built to take the jostling and jarring that a motorhome is going to pass out. Solid surface countertops. We have all solid wood cabinet doors, solid wood drawer fronts, full extension drawer guides with ball bearings. I mean, the coach is very, very well constructed. As you can see, we've gotten away from the carpeting in our coaches. We use, good Armstrong Rhino tile on the floors. You can put your own throw rugs and things down, but, people don't really
It's
care
got a
for
great look,
carpeting.
and of course it'll still look great years from now.
Exactly.
After it's taken the abuse. And it looks like y'all put most all of the furnace vents up underneath the cabinets,
Right.
and mounted them up out of the floor.
Yep. But again, it's the construction of the coach. I mean, I talk so much about what we do. I mean, we talked about how we mount the house onto the framework, how we mount the walls next to the floor. I mean, there's so many things just in the walls themselves. I mean, we double insulate around every opening with aluminum, whether it be the doors, the windows, any vents. A lot of manufacturers double reinforce with wood, but wood absorbs moisture. Aluminum does not. It's a little more expensive process.
And then the cabinets themselves, y'all are using steel reinforced backers.
Exactly.
Instead of a
I mean,
stapled
that's
wood, correct?
One of the biggest things that sets us apart from most manufacturers. I mean, we laminate all the way around. The ceiling, the floor is laminated, the walls are laminated, which most manufacturers are doing now. Lamination is just taking that 6 or 7 layer process under extreme pressure, vacuum, and it makes it an 1.5 inch piece of wood. And then they take that wood wall and they start building their motorhome.
Right.
These things move a lot when we're traveling. Everything that's screwed in to the walls and the ceiling, whether it be the lambrequins, the valances, the door handles, especially the cabinetry, the heaviest part of your coach, has steel plates actually vacuum bonded into that wall during that process. Again, very expensive process, but it sets us apart. We went out a few years ago and we bought about 500 magnetic name tags for our salespeople. Yes, we wanted to know who they were, but more importantly, I wanted every salesperson to have a magnet with them to show people that this wood wall right here, there's actually steel plates in behind it, and I can take a magnet and stick it to that wood wall to show people there are steel plates in behind, not only in the walls, even along in the ceiling. You have an ozite ceiling, which a magnet should not stick to, but it will because there's actually a steel plate in behind as we go around the entire coach. I mean, it's one of the biggest things that sets us apart. I mean, the first thing
No
that
question.
loosens up when you're traveling is the cabinetry. And as people know, then they start creaking and rattling, making you crazy when you're going down the road.
Right.
Well, again, that's something that Thor Industries does in our motorhomes. And again, that's from the ground up. Our smallest Class C to our biggest diesel. We incorporate the steel plates in it. So.
We talked. I mentioned the furnace grates a little bit, but if we talk a little bit about the heating and cooling of the coach, one of the biggest questions or concerns that we have from all of our customers is the heated tanks. Are these heated pads, or how do y'all handle the heated holding tanks?
This actually has a heated tank as far as the pads that are on them. It's because of us wanting to keep the low profile, as we talked about, and being able to fit in that 12-foot, underneath that 12-foot door. We cannot put the tanks into the floor area itself like we do, say, in our Daybreak or Challenger line. So we offer a heating tank option. It's a 12-volt heating system, and it's right into your monitor panel up here. If you're going to be in freezing climate, all you do is come up, you hit the gray tank heater, black tank heater, and it maintains that. All of our fresh water tanks are always inside the motorhome, so that is never an option, an issue. It's just the gray and black tanks as far as
we put the heated tanks on everything that we bring in.
Everything that you order has the heating tank option. If for some reason it didn't come on it, or if you happen to buy one that didn't have, that's something that you guys can always add on and have. It's always pre-wired for it in either case. So.
And then from an air conditioning standpoint, we're going to have two 13.5s?
Yes, sir. Dual air conditioning, front and back. They're all ducted into the same ductwork. And we have one of the best duct systems in the industry. We actually don't use a metal or a fiberglass duct because of our vacuum bond machines being the state of the art that they are. It actually molds the styrofoam smooth, just like this countertop. So we can duct the air through the foam instead of adding a metal duct, which a lot of manufacturers do.
Right.
It's more efficient, and those metal ducts in extremely high heat and high humidity areas, they tend to sweat and condensate up inside the roof structure. And as we all know, sweating and condensation in that area leads to two things. That's mold and mildew. We've eliminated that by just ducting through the foam itself, and we can do that because it's smooth and non-porous.
That's awesome.
Another big thing as far as the construction of the floor itself, again, we talked about we have an 1.5-inch steel welded floor. It's all block foam filled for not only for insulation purposes, for noise factor, but we also use 24-foot Weyerhaeuser sections in our floor. Instead of 6 or 8 foot sections like a lot of manufacturers, where you've got several seams, we have one seam, because in 24 foot it usually brings us into the bathroom area, and then the rest is one solid piece from that point to the back wall of the coach.
So it's an expensive process, but it's definitely well worth it.
It's well worth it. I mean, this new floor plan is exceptional. We have a huge bathroom area, has a huge shower that the gentlemen are definitely going to like. Got a big skylight above the shelf or above the shower itself, so if you're in that 6'5", 6'6" and taller area, it's not an issue. But you've got room to get in and out. And then right across from that, of course, we've got the vented doors. This is all plumbed for a stack washer and dryer. You can put the combo in, you can put the stack in. It has adjustable shelves, or you can just use it as a great wardrobe closet.
Yeah, very few floor plans are going to offer anything that you could actually put, full-length coats or dresses and things like that in.
There's several long closets. Again, these are all adjustable shelving, or you can take the shelves out altogether. You got a pull-out drawer down below, and then two more big ones on the back in actually the bedroom itself.
And a king-size bed.
A king-size bed in a 34 Hurricane, which we've been wanting for a long time, and now we finally have it. Lots of wardrobe space. You have two more hanging closets on each side of the bed itself. The three huge ones here.
Big cabinets up here.
Big overhead cabinets. Cabinets are pretty, usually deeper than most, so they'll accommodate just about anything you want to put into them.
You've even got storage behind the TV on this one? Does that one lift up?
This one I do not believe. Yeah, it does. I'm sorry. Thanks.
That's a great place, for DVDs and stuff like that. Yeah. Or of course, like I said, if you wanted to put a safe in.
Yeah,
I've had a lot of customers who want
to.
It is
because nobody would ever think to pull that thing up. So, I mean, the whole bedroom is really set up neat. And another thing that we're doing now too is our mattresses. We switched over the entire fleet probably 6 months ago. We use Denver mattresses in everything that we're building now. One of the best quality mattresses you can find in the RV industry.
I like y'all changed the wall board. Actually went to a colored wall board and used the decorative moldings on your slide out room fascias now. They just add a lot of color and character to the coach.
On the outside entertainment area, you do automatically get the 600-watt inverter that comes with it for the refrigerator and stuff in your outside television area.
Now, what all will this run?
It'll run the television, outside TV, and the refrigerator. Everything here is all together in one easy spot. You got your thermostat for the front. There's a separate thermostat for your bedroom air conditioner. But all of your gray and black tank heaters, your slide controls, your ceiling lights, monitor panel, generator start, everything is one neat location right here. And there's a few things up in the driving area I wanted to kind of point out to you too while we're up in here. The driver's seat is the cockpit area. I mean, everything is ergonomically correct, very easy to get at. You can see the hydraulic leveling pad over on the left-hand side there. Everything is accessible, everything is very easy to get to. Again, you've got the picture window down below for looking at the curb. For her, this flips back over when you're traveling. There's a 12-volt outlet here, two 110 outlets for a writing desk, a place where you can use your computer, a place for sewing, doing scrapbooks, doing whatever when you're traveling. Great place to have lunch. Again, both seats swivel all the way around into your dining area. Here's the three-way camera system as we talked about. You got the backup camera, and it's actually got the voice monitor system on it, so you can turn the volume up.
And those color side cameras too.
Color side visions also, right. You can actually touch this when you're driving and see what's next to you, or when you turn on the turn signals left or right, it automatically gives you that scan of everything that's up beside the coach. One thing I like to point out, especially to her, RVing is great. You're going to be places a lot of times you've never been before. You love the park. You know, you're in here all buttoned up at night, 10 o'clock, watching television. Somebody knocks at the door. Well, the last thing you want to do is turn on the porch light and open up the door. I mean, all of our cameras now have LED lighting in them, so it's daytime all the time. So should somebody knock at the door, just come up here, hit the side vision camera to the door side, and there's who's standing at your doorway. Hey, it's Joe from next door, let him in. Hey, I don't know who that is. Call 911, whatever. But from this seat right here, I can literally look around 99% of the motorhome with ever opening that side door. So that to me is a great security feature for an RVer.
Really is, really is.
And
there's one other big feature, right, that y'all started doing recently.
Yeah, we started this about a year ago, again, in the Hurricane Windsport line. I mean, it's kind of taken away from our bunk bed coaches, and I, again, try to talk to your salespeople. When people come in asking for bunks, tell them to think outside the box a little bit. To get a bunk, it's great, but you're adding another slide, you're adding a 14-foot area for temporary use in most cases. For people that don't need bunks all the time but need extra sleeping every so often, we've incorporated this new overhead electric drop-down bed. It's incredible. I mean, when it's all the way up in the up position, most people don't even know that it's here, other than they see the hooks for the ladder.
Right, because we actually have it dropped down right now. It does,
because
go all the way flush.
It goes all the way flush. The cabinetry and everything is built into it. So if you've got the grandkids or kids traveling with you for this trip only, at nighttime, all you got to do is you come up here, turn it on with the key operation, and you hit it down. And actually, to bring it all the way to the low position, you actually have to tilt the seats back just a little bit. It'll come down to about in here.
Okay.
The nice thing is, it's got a 500-pound weight capacity. It's got a slide system on it, like a Schwintek slide system, the same as we use in our exterior slides. You've got a bunk ladder that hooks into here. Again, just like the sofa, there's a quick inflate, quick deflate mattress that goes up in there. It's just the greatest thing we've ever come up with. I mean, I wish we could do it in every one of our motorhome brands, but the Hurricane Windsport, this is an exclusive in every floor plan as an option to put on.
It's been incredibly popular since you came out with it. There's no doubt.
In this motorhome, all the way down, say to our 29 or even our 32, this motorhome has a king-size bed in the back, a full-size airbed sofa, a full airbed size bed up here, and the horseshoe-shaped dinette makes down. So I mean, you've got 4 beds in this one motorhome.
Extenuation of the toys. I mean, like the seating with the LCD TV in here, the whole outside package that it comes with the refrigerator and everything. It's an incredible floor plan.
Right, and if
It's
people
going to do well.
It's a great thing to have up here. If the kids aren't going with you, the grandkids, You don't need to put that air mattress in here. You can put bedding, you can put linens. It's a great place for storing rifles, guns. I mean, again, we talked about the safe behind the TV. This is even better yet. You can put guns or things like that, fishing poles.
Sure.
You raise it all the way to the roof level, turn the key off, and nobody, again, most people don't even realize it's up there. And even if they did, they couldn't get to it, because unless you've got that key, you're not going to be able to activate it. So.
Well, Art, thanks so much. Appreciate you being here.
You bet.
And appreciate you demonstrating the coach for us. I know everybody else out there does.
Good.
Thank you very much for joining us, everybody. We'll be back in a little bit to show you an HD Max sidewall on a Windsport.
Yes, sir.
Right? Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you.